Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down to you how you can catch some of those big reversals to make a ton of money. If you don't know what a reversal is, it is when you catch the bottom of a trend. For example, it's a downtrend, you buy it long and then you catch a huge move to the upside because the price reverses, and from being into a downtrend it turns into an uptrend. It is not very easy to do, but if done right and done correctly, you can make a ton of money. So this is a great strategy. You're gonna watch this whole video. Make sure you're taking notes, make sure you save it. You watch it again, send it to your friends, send it to your mom. Make sure this video is gonna be very important, so I need you to pay attention and just make sure you take notes. If you like more videos like this, if you learn more about the stock market, crypto market, just anything about finances, this is the best channel, and I make a ton of new videos. So make sure you hit down below, leave a comment, subscribe, thumbs up, and if you want to trade with me live every single day, the Discord is always there. Link is in the bio. DM me on Instagram if you have any questions. It doesn't matter. I trade live every single day. I'm gonna be going over actually some trades I took today, because I took two huge trades. I took 3 days trades in total. 2 of them were huge reversals, which the best part of all that is that I did those live on YouTube and on Twitch completely for free. So you could have watched me from the market open. I don't do that all the time. So to know when I'm gonna be going live on Twitch, make sure you're following Instagram and turn on, watch all my stories. Make sure you have my stories turned on for notification. If that's a thing, I don't even know. But when you have those occasions, you can watch me trade live and pretty much free money, guys. I haven't dropped a trade on stream, I don't know how long, but the important thing I want you to remember, when you're catching a reversal, that it could fail. So with reversals, you have to be very careful, because the trend is your friend at the end of the day until it is not. So more often than not, there's an average about 65% of the times, roughly, that whenever you have a lower low, you have a lower high, then you're going to follow the lower low. So that means 65% of the time, the trend is going to continue. But 35% of the time, you're going to be able to catch a reversal. And guess what? At 35% of the time, can make you a ton of money. Another huge thing to keep in mind with the reversal pattern is to make sure that you have faith into your play. It can be very dangerous. You see a stock selling off and then you take a long position. It can be very counterintuitive, and that's why a lot of beginner traders especially, and I will say this is not really a beginner friendly strategy. This strategy is a little bit better for more seasoned or more experienced traders. So I definitely recommend maybe mess around with paper trading, but don't jump straight into it until you become a bit better at it. But once you're actually able to master it, you can make a ton of money out there. So we're actually going to jump in straight into the charts. I'm going to show you guys those 2 trades I took today. I always tell people that being a visual learner, it's the best way to learn, because these 2 trades are going to be able to break down to you and kind of show you how you can catch those trades, and there's going to be some really great examples. So here we have the triple Q. If you're not familiar with the QQQ, it is an ETF where it contains the most tech stocks. So imagine the S&P 500, which considers the top 500 companies in America or in the world. The triple Q is that, but just mostly for tech. So you're getting about Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, those kind of stocks. It is something that is very volatile, and I like to trade it. It provides a lot of opportunity intradays, and it made me a lot of money. So I like to trade this very often. So here we have it on a 5-minute, and we're going to first zoom out so you guys understand what my mindset was starting on a daily time frame. On a daily time frame, if we zoom out here, we had what we would call a bull flag breakout. So you had this big breakout here, and as you guys can see, right, forming a bull flag, and then kind of adjust this, whatever, forming this push higher, consolidate, and push higher. So I'm already thinking that this is gonna be a pretty strong uptrend on the daily time frame. Remind yourself, 5-minute time frame, 10-minute time frame, 1 hour, daily. They're all gonna be trends on their own right, but within the time frame. So I'm thinking the overall time frame is pretty much bullish, and then you have this huge breakout candle here, which again is showing very low strength, and Friday closing a little bit of a retracement candle. So once you have a big candle like this, I'm thinking that more than likely you're probably going to bounce near this level of 302 and 303. If you zoom out, as you guys can see, it's right about this previous high, and we draw it right there. And then my mindset was you're probably going to come down and retest 302 to 303, create a base, and then push higher. If that's not the case, you probably are likely to go to down to 300 as a second support, and maybe I'll try my luck with some calls there. So you have to understand, when you're trading big support, resistance, reversal patterns, you have to have your, guess what, support and resistance. We talk about support and resistance all the time, right? You have to have this big support resistance level, like for example this 297 level here. You would have to that drawn out, the $300 level, strong mental level. You need to have this drawn out, because that's the areas that you gotta be looking for to catch the the strong reversal. Now let's zoom in a little more on something like a 15-minute time frame. And keep in mind, guys, this was the market open was right on this candle, right on this first sell-off candle. Something that I noticed the pre-market was potentially this pattern here forming. As you guys can see, it is a triangle pattern. All this pattern means is just consolidation, right? So it's consolidation and then looking to the break at the upside or potentially even the downside. And the way you measure this is from the top and up until this. So let's say when this breaks out, your target should be the bottom of this roughly. Right, and as you guys can see, look where the bottom was. This broke to the downside, and guess where the bottom was? We're off this $302 level. Actually, my very first play of the day was supposed to be puts right off of this breakout here. As you guys can see on this retest on this wick right here, we'll zoom it in so you can see even better in a 1 minute. But my very first, if you go to our Discord and you see my notes from the morning, you can see my very first was actually supposed to be a rejection or off this level. So you have the 930 candle here go down, 931 and 32, 933, and right into that 934 to 935 candle, you get a retest and you get a rejection, and it's moved down to 302 to 303. Unfortunately, I missed that. Part of it was because I was trying to get a stream set up for the morning, so I got to miss the very first 5 minute. But that was fine. It was my other plan was to potentially catch a reversal pattern. And I have to be honest with you guys, I didn't have the best first entry, and I don't make up kind of excuses, but part of the reasons why, and if you guys run back and if you look back to the Twitch or the YouTube, you'll see the whole stream. But I had this when I first started streaming. I was like, hey guys, this is the main area I'm watching is this bouncer between right below 303, which is 302.5, right around this area, right? This is what you call a demand level, where I knew orders will probably be waiting for a bounce, or something you call an order block as well. But I also had this level 303 also drawn out. So unfortunately, because I've kind of hesitated, and this is what you have to, as a trader, you have to think about yourself and go back and be like, what did I make some mistakes that I could have fixed or could have done a little bit better? What I did was start a position around this 303 level, right, where you see this white line here. And, you know, looking at hindsight, this doesn't look like a terrible level. But keep in mind, as I'm trading this, right, as I enter on pretty much this green candle here, I see price still going down, right? I saw this big sell-off. I see price still going down. It is getting dicey for me. But if you watch through the whole stream, I kept saying to hold. And I actually mentioned you have two options. If you want to, you can close around the 302.6 and then enter right on this order block or supply level that we have drawn out and look for bounce there, or simply you can average down. The choice that I went to, I decided to average down. So I had a first entry here, then average down, kind of give me a rough price of this $302.6 level right here. So my average price was right around here, and then guess what happens? I'm very patient. I even shared the chats in the chat and in the Twitch. On the 15-minute time frame is what I really was focusing on. Was when you're looking for a big reversal, guys, it's not happening within 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute. A lot of times you gotta look at those 15-minute. And what you see here, a potential doji. A doji now doesn't mean you're gonna reverse. It is a 50-50 candle, but at least you're starting to see some buyers come in and kind of maybe potentially with a nice entry. Like look, the nice entry we have here, even if the next candle was red, at the worst you get out a break even. So you have to think about it. That's why you need those supply and demand levels. You can't just be guessing your entries. Getting the right entry is what's gonna make you a bulk of your money. So getting here, the next candle is green and kind of confirms the reversal, and then guess what happens? Goes all the way up to 306, which blows out my goal of 305. I had a goal of 305, but you catch this huge move here, and the options moved a little bit over 200% from almost near the bottom. We got to 1.33, and if you held the rest of the day, probably went up a little bit higher. Now again, we had a first entry here and a second entry here, but during to my notes in the pre-market was my real entry should have been just this level. Some mix of wanting to jump into a trade and kind of feeling a little bit of FOMO for that first puts that I missed and not being able. So if I had gotten the puts like I had planned to, I probably would just held this all the way here as I'm waiting for my major bounce level rather than trying to get the small bounce level. If you're ever indecisive on what trade to enter, if you have two levels, usually the further out level is the one you should be waiting for regardless, right? Because even if you miss the other level, I'd rather miss a trade than be red on a trade. Because let's say this number bounced here, maybe some negative news came out and you went down all to the 300. Now it would have been very, very hard to even look for another average at 300 because I would have been underwater in this trade, and then more room down and potentially try to catch this 300 level would have been really dicey. And I was already down here about $2,000 to $3,000 when I added here, so I probably didn't want to do that. But luckily this one worked out for me. And again, I had a thesis and a plan behind it. So I don't want to say that I just got lucky and all people are like, oh, wow, you just got lucky, this thing bounces. I did not get lucky. It was more of me having a plan and a thesis. And this was my first trade right here. You catch this downtrend on the 5 to 15 minute. We had this downtrend I had built from the day prior. But understanding the overall micro trend, I was happy looking for these major level bounces on a bigger time frame to then catch the counter trend up, creating a really nice profit. Again, guys, I did this without using any indicators. Right, look at me. This is how I traded. If you watch me on Twitch, if you watch me live in our trading Discord room, which I trade every single day, today I was perfect 303, where you could have copied all my trade and probably made a really good profit. That I do all of that without using really any indicators. Next up, let's talk about AMD, and AMD was another really great trade, which was actually much better than the Q trade. We exactly bought the perfect bottom, right around $93 level, and this was my target, was actually 95, and then I had some runners being all the way up to 96 and 97, which that was a 1 to 10, guys. That was a 1 to, that's just insane. A 1 to 10 risk to reward, which was just nutty, but my actual overall trade idea was right into this red box, and it was at the level of $95. So I took profit right here, 94, 94.5, 95, and then I told the chat I'm just leaving a couple of runners for the rest of the day, and luckily it went all the way up. But this was the major trade I was looking, and we didn't run this red candle. So here in a 5-minute time frame, you have this big sell-off right into this demand level, also known as the potential order block, and then we start seeing price consolidating. Now, to the naked eye, this could look potentially like a bearish rectangle. They will continue down and go down here, but me having a thesis of triple Q being bullish for the day, it didn't make sense that one of the more strong stocks in this last push higher, go back to the daily, look how strong AMD has been, it wouldn't make sense for this stock to be weak, right? It's gonna have a pullback. I just didn't think the pullback was gonna be today, and this dip will probably get eaten up. So all I waited for something that I call a liquidity grab. If you're not familiar with a liquidity grab, it was something that I have covered extensively in our masterclass course. If you're not in a masterclass course, I highly recommend you trying to get into the next one. But this move down here was what we call liquidity grab. What is a liquidity grab? Well, it is when, if you think about stop losses, they're trying to trigger stop losses and they're trying to trap bears, like this big red candle. If you're holding long position, like, well, you know, I broke the lows, let me get out, it's probably gonna go lower. And if you're a bear, you're like, wow, we broke the lows on a huge red candle, let me get in and start a short position. And guess what? Traps both sides. The price bounces the opposite way and screws both bulls and longs, and very few end up making money. In this case, I was one of the very few. So when you're looking for a liquidity grab, you're looking for price to break below the lows and quickly run back up. Exactly what we had seen, in combination being on this demand level here. When the price broke down, I told the chat and more like you're gonna be running it back up, as the whole overall market conditions didn't make sense for this continued selling off after a big sell-off already. Now, just because you have a big sell-off, it totally can keep selling off. I just think this was going to be the case due to the market conditions and kind of just understanding the market structure. Keep in mind, these trades come with tons of experience, right? I've had over 8 years of a trading experience, and to me, I can just tell in a way what the market is trying to do and who they're trying to trick, because I've seen this play out many times over, and I see young traders get screwed. So this is definitely a pattern that you want to look for, and you want to look for some of this liquidity grab. Lastly, let's talk about this volume profile index. Again, another one that we talked about in our masterclass. So what I noticed on this, right, was I took my volume profile from the latest swing high before this gap up here and this sell off, and kind of look for where there was a level of liquidity that needed to be grabbed. Again, being down here, as you guys can see, is very small level of volume being traded, which means prices were gonna hit that level and then run back up to kind of go back to the median, which was right on this red level here, which is what we call a point of control. Now there's a whole other topic, the volume profile, that I could probably make a whole separate 1-hour video on it, so I don't want to dive too much into it, but that was another tool that I use. Now again, these are not going to be beginner friendly setups. I definitely recommend, if this is your first setups you're trying to get into, this can be quite dangerous to just jump into and try to catch sometimes what we call catching a knife, or catching shorting into strength. You don't want to do much of those because you can get screwed if you're not done correctly. This is almost thinking about a surgeon trying to do a surgery. I'm trying to surgically find where the price is going to rebound and fighting the trend. Finding the trend, we tell beginners, is never a good idea, but once you're able to spot out these patterns and catch some of these reversals, you'll be able to find the right levels, find the key levels that you need, and start catching those bottoms and catching those tops. Well, I hope a video like this helps you guys. Hope it just kind of dives into my mind when I'm trading, what I'm looking for. And if you'd like more videos like this, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe button down below. It helps grow the channel and motivates me to make even more videos. Make sure you come tune in on our Twitch streams. I try to do them every day or whenever I can, but just make sure you're following and turning notifications over there. The name is the same, Big Gains Club, so make sure you guys go follow that and don't miss some of the streams to make a ton of money. Other than that, guys, hope you have a great day, and as always, peace.